Philadelphia, are you ready?
They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
And we are here with yet again another episode of Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast. A interview that we have in store for you comes from the owner slash videographer slash lighting guy slash booker slash everything man of Violence and Suffering, Isaac Rodriguez. The young man is only 22 years old and is venturing out and put together one of the most uniquely interesting cards that I've seen put together in quite some time. And you'll hear in the interview of just he used the word vision a lot.
Yes.
And his vision for how he wants this show to go, how he wants professional wrestling to be seen in the future. So there's a lot to be learned and a lot to hear in this interview that we have coming up. And hold on tight. We do have a breaking announcement that breaks at the end of the show, so you will have to listen to the whole thing. I know you want to listen to the whole thing, but at the end, we have a match announcement that hasn't been announced yet, but it has been on this show. So hold on to your ass cheeks and let's get ready.
Yeah, so before we jump into the interview, a couple things just for us anyway to promote our show.
The business. Yeah. The business part of the show.
We have moved for a while now. Since the beginning, we've had Podbean be our distributor, and we've done great with Podbean, but have moved over thanks to Dan Barry, who actually said it. We moved to Anchor. So Brotherly Love Wrestling is on Anchor FM now. All our episodes are there. And now everywhere else, as far as Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, all that, anywhere you want to find us, it's all there. You can find the link on our Linktree page as well. But so that will be going forward, be on Anchor. And one more other thing that went up Friday, the 27th, officially, was our new merch store at What a Maneuver, which What a Maneuver has been amazing with customer service and helping us out and getting all our designs up. So they've been amazing to work with. But these shirts, not like another company where you have to pay extra money for the soft fit T-shirts. These are soft fit from the very start. They're so comfortable. And the designs we have up are Friends tribute, our Karate Kid nod. We have our Unite shirt, which any dollar made for our Unite shirt, anyone who buys a shirt, all that money will be going to Black Lives Matter Philly. Like Joe said, put a tweet out earlier, if there's any shirt that you're going to buy, make it that one, at least that one first, and because it all goes to a good cause. So, the link for our What a Maneuver will be down below us and on our Linktree as well. So
not above us.
Not above us. Below us. Not up there. Down there. Yeah.
Not that way.
For those who are watching, those who are listening, this will make no sense whatsoever. Yeah. So that gets that out of the way. Now it's time to sit back and enjoy the interview with one of the most, for 22 years old, I was shocked when he told me to have this much knowledge of wrestling and wise beyond his years by far. So here you go. Go ahead.
I think this interview is good because I think with the climate change that's starting to happen in wrestling, you can see Isaac being hopefully one of the leaders in that change. Yes. And you'll learn more coming up now.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
How about yourself?
Awesome. Just chilling right now, New York, taking care of the grandparents.
Oh, yeah? How they hold up?
Everything's good, man. We just staying inside, being safe, How do I
Okay.
sound?
You're good.
Good.
You're clear.
Yeah, you're coming in
Okay,
good.
good. Thank you guys for inviting me. First off, like
Not a problem.
this is one of my first interviews. I had never really gotten asked to do one, so it is exciting, and I can't wait to have it. I was listening to the show. I know you guys had Larry on, my boy Larry. I was just talking
Yes.
to him.
Yeah.
He says nothing but nice things about you guys.
Oh,
Good.
We
Yeah.
appreciate that.
We kind of keep it loose. We kind of just shoot the shit the whole time, and we just go off of whatever you say. We kind of just generate questions that way.
That's chill. That's chill. That's how it should be. It's
Yeah, it
chill.
makes it more like a natural flow and not forced.
Yeah, and y'all from Philly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you're down, you're more than welcome at my shows. You don't gotta worry about pay or anything. Just let me know in advance. I'll hook you guys up.
Well, here's our question. We could not find the venue.
Because it's kayfabe and it's a rib on like South Park. It's actually a secret location. It's a secret location, so no cop callers or anything like that. We have 100 seats available. We're limiting right now because of COVID and shit. So we're going to be spacing out seats, very limited spacing in that sense. So we don't want anybody to really know the location.
So
until
it's not a chicken restaurant in Miami, Florida.
No, you're like the third person this week. I think the past week I got a couple of calls about running a show in Florida, and it made me laugh. I looked it up afterwards. I was like, wow, it's basically a rib on like I was thinking South Park. Like, what name we could think of that's so obviously not real. And I was like, what's because the show? I don't know if you guys know this. The show's gonna be held in a farm, in an outdoor farm. So I'm like, what's farm in Spanish? All right, I'll throw that in USA in it. And the reactions that we've got have been really good about that. So it's like a play on. It's got to be like our little home. And I might change the name, but keep the same place. So it might change every time actually. So it's just like it's kind of like a secret party,
Now, do you find that if you do that when you start running full time again, whenever the hell that happens, get back to normal? Now, will that hurt you in like sales and whatnot? Will people, just because they don't know where it is, will they not try to show up, you think?
Well, when things are back together and back normal and the safety precautions have updated for venues and venues are starting to open up in the Northeast, I plan on running in like actual venues, no farms or anything like that. But I definitely do consider this a challenge, and I'm all about challenges. So I want to see how it goes. I don't plan on doing it again, though, after about until this is over. Only reason why we're doing it outdoors is because of the whole quarantine situation, pandemic bullshit we're going through. So, yeah, hopefully we could run at Melrose Ballroom or at a Voltage Lounge in the near future. So, yeah.
Now, is 100 seats you said you're going to run at, is that like a quarter? Is that like, how many were you planning on trying to fill?
We're going to plan to fill about 500.
Really?
Originally.
Yeah.
I think that's like 4 times bigger than the Voltage Lounge.
Oh yeah, the field we got lucky too, and I'm very grateful for my friends and the whole team that I have with me. We got our own. We got about 8 acres of land to run at with a shed. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, are you worried about weather or anything like that?
Weather's been like the number one thought in my mind every day. It's you can't predict that, and I'm like, I mean, I'm in Connecticut right now, but like as far as I know, like they're saying like it's gonna be good, but I'm talking to people in New York and in Philly and New Jersey like every day, so hopefully it'll change.
I mean, I think the only thing you got to worry about is those sudden thunderstorms you get at that time of the year because it's so damn humid around here. That would be like a scattered thunderstorm would be like the biggest worry.
I'm going with luck on this one. It's a whole risk. The whole thing is a risk. It's a whole risk. This is my first show I'm running, so it's a huge risk.
I was going to ask you that. Now, what were your ties with wrestling before you decide? And now, are you owner, promoter? Yeah. So owner of, is it Violence and Suffering, or is it Violence? We were trying to figure out what the X meant. I just assumed it was end.
Oh, I love X-Men, so that could be a part of it. But no, I love Violence and Suffering because it's different. The promotion was formerly owned by Pinky Sanchez.
Okay.
Pinky's having his last run right now, and the promotion had about 5 shows under their belt. You know, they've been one of the on and off type of promotions in the Jersey area, and they never, realistically speaking, they've never really drove a crowd to their show. So it's been doing bad. And when Pinky was on his way out, one of the last shows they had last year was the tribute to my brother, Matt Travis. I don't know if you guys know about this guy. He used to wrestle House of Glory, GCW. Violence and Suffering was the first platform to give Matt Travis a shot outside of that New York House of Glory bubble. So I came from House of Glory, and it hit hard, honestly. I was really close to Matt Travis. So when the news broke about his passing, they did their tribute show to him. Obviously, sales didn't go how they planned to be. And I talked to Pinky, told him a vision I had. I told him an idea I had. I've surrounded myself the past 6 years around very talented people and some of the best promoters in the world. And he just gave me the company that day of the tribute show afterwards. And we're originally going to run in March. It got shut down because of COVID. And fast forward, and here we are. So it's a whole tribute to my brother Matt Travis. The whole thing. I don't know if this is going to be like the last show ever. You know, if it does well, hey, I'm down to throw another banger. I'm all about good bangers only. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old soul. I'll tell you right now. I'm 22. I'm turning 23 in August. But I'm a very old soul. I believe in the sportsmanship of professional wrestling. I also believe in what the people want. And there's a lot of void to fill, especially in our area. You have companies like House of Glory that's not running anymore. You have ICW that's about to start touring. You have GCW that is touring. There's a big void to fill in the Northeast, especially bringing back vibes that Jersey All Pro had, vibes that early CZW, Ring of Honor, USA Pro had. I'll say even the early ICW days, you don't really see the sportsmanship of professional wrestling back then. That's what Matt Travis was all about. And I'm a person that if I see potential in something, I'm going to go for it. And this is probably the biggest project in my life to this date. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see what happens.
So are you basing this is this like all eggs in the basket for this show? And if it does well, you're definitely going to run more. And if it doesn't, you're going to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a risk and a half. Yeah.
Now, what if it doesn't, hypothetically speaking, what if it doesn't do well? Is that going to completely deter you from running a show ever again? Or will it get you more motivated to figure out right now running a show, what the number one issue is. It's COVID. It's people not wanting to it's not people not wanting to get out of their house. I mean, right now you pretty much have to hope for the media buzz, the social media buzz that you get around it. That's going to tell you your true success. Because if you sell 100 tickets, which isn't that difficult, especially with the card, and we'll get to the card that you put together.
Okay.
With what you have, that 100 seats should go quick. And it's independent wrestling prices. You're not paying $50, $60, $70 a ticket. You're paying reasonable prices to go see a card that you could see. I mean, you could see these guys on big screens. You could see them pretty much anywhere. They're guys that have been around for a while. I mean, if you don't do well, will that just regenerate like your mindset to figure out what went wrong and try and do it in a different format?
Yes, I do think I would definitely think in a different format, but I also am a very optimistic person, but even more realistic. I've been grateful to partner with Fight TV in this project, and they're very behind us and backing us. I'm so grateful that Fight's behind this project that I have, and the majority of it is because it's different. And of course, if this does not go well, I'm gonna have a setback. I'm gonna have to think about what can I do to maybe make this better? What can I do to better not just myself for the money I get, but the actual presentation of the promotion, which is something I think a lot of promoters don't even think about. And I also don't understand that a kid from Brooklyn, New York, from the hood, is probably going to have one of the best shows of the whole year. And as of right now, pay-per-view pre-sales up there with GCW. Ticket sales, we've sold about 70%, 75%. And it's looking like there's a possibility we might come back. But you can't risk anything. What if it rains? What if it doesn't? You got to think of second thoughts. You got to have understudies. That's just how it is. That's the business. And at the end of the day, I'm always looking at it as a business perspective for sure. This isn't disrespectful, but I'm always business people say I think like a Jew. I like to think realistic, and I like to think about this isn't gonna work. I always doubt myself, especially shit like this, projects like this. I'm gonna be like, maybe this is gonna work, and I'll go back to ICW No Holds Barred and start filming, and I'm always gonna be there. That's ICW's my home, but I'm gonna be like very optimistic, and especially with things I see with potential like this project. Honestly, I was very grateful to get sponsorships. I've just finished talking to one of the creators of, I don't know if you guys heard of Wrestling Society X. We're about to partner in something very special, and everything's looking good right now, man. Honestly, if it wasn't, I'll say it wasn't, because that's just how it is. At the end of the day, there's no reason to lie to not only yourself but the fans that are giving their attention to what your vision is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to do that because it's unnecessary.
Now, you said you were 22 years old, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. How long have you been in, like, at least attached to the business, if you're only 22? Because it amazes me how you speak about professional wrestling at 22. Like, it's insane.
No, I'm very realistic. I've been in the business. I hate saying I'm in the business, by the way. People say I've been in the business. Okay, Ric Flair. I've been associated in wrestling in the scene for 6 years. I started as a intern at House of Glory Wrestling. After a year, started producing content for them. I have a very deep passion for filmmaking and visual aesthetics and uplifting a promotion that I have a lot of interest in, and that's what I had in House of Glory. 4 years after House of Glory, I got to meet a lot of people, man, a lot of the students there. Matt Travis was one of them I got really close to. And I decided to start venturing off, so I left. I did one GCW show, and I got a call from Impact after. And they wanted me to do their Bound for Glory pay-per-view for promo work. And everywhere I go, I just learn. You absorb. It's energy. You look at detail. A lot of people don't think like this, but you just got to set your focus on how things are ran, because if you don't set focus on that, you're not going to know how it's possible. And I never even dreamt of having my own promotion. I'm going to be honest, guys. Like, I never would have thought that this would happen. It was legit handed to me. And if I was handed to me, then that's a sign, that's just a sign at the end of the day. After 6 years, I've met so many talented people, and a majority of the guys in the scene right now, we're in the same age bracket. You look at people like Blake Christian, 22, Marco Stunt, 22, Jimmy Lloyd, 22. A lot of the people in the roster, Myron Reed, Jordan Oliver, a lot of these guys, MLW, are signing. It's the next wave of professional wrestling, and it's a standard that it's going to be set, especially at BXS. So I'm very excited for that. Very grateful for everybody I've met. And if it wasn't for people like the promoters at House of Glory, the promoters at ICW, the promoters at GCW, I wouldn't be here.
All right, I wanted to touch on, since age was brought up,
Yeah.
I'm a little over 10 years your senior. So your mindset, though, it's probably the same on a lot of different levels. How do you say you're ushering in the next wave of talent? And that seems to be different than the mindset and the way that they do things than the current guard, so to speak, of wrestling. Now, is your mindset to let those athletes do their thing, or should they run through the same system that's been running it for years?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. And a lot of that has to probably do why I'm stepping in. I'll shoot right now. A lot of promoters, a lot of bookers, they all rely on legends. You never gonna fucking see me book Scott Hall for a meet and greet at my show. I see people with like so much talent, and people like Jordan Oliver, people like Alex Zane, they could go, and a majority of that is because they paved their way, and that's what VXS is at the end of the day. It's complete DIY that I really hope people could translate, and it's built from the ground up. I do the graphics, video work, everything, booking, talent, flights, hotels. You got to have time for this, and you got to have a passion for this, and I only surround myself around people with that passion. I found a lot of very talented people I'm grateful to have involved in this project. And when you have someone in your circle with the same mindset, you could let them drift their own way, because that's how an artist is. And the wrestlers that I have are just not just wrestlers or people I'm going to be paying. There's going to be actual family and actual artists that are going to portray that in the ring. So I just let them roll, honestly. A lot of people don't do that. I know Ring of Honor is very strict on timing. I know like a bunch of other bookers are very strict on talent they want to save up to book. Like I said, legends. It's not about legends, because at the end of the day, when let's say Joe Schmo gets signed, who's next? So I'm thinking about who's next.
So you're going to try and get to them before they make that next
100%. Yep.
And they become too popular to even book.
100%.
Now, I wanted to touch on, the landscape in actually in wrestling as a whole, it's starting to change. There's starting to be a changing of the guard. There's starting to be some of that younger mindset starting to gain traction, and especially when it comes to the race card, when it comes to booking African American wrestlers, whether it be male or female. Now, do you find yourself leaning towards there's no anyone that can be booked will be booked now? There's no quotas or anything like that has to do with wrestling will be a part of your mindset or booking strategy?
Well, there's something called clout chasing. I feel a lot of promoters are doing right now. One thing I'm very proud of is that a lot of the people I booked, I've gotten to talk to, and they know the deal. This isn't clout chasing. Like, we're all one family, and I've talked to everybody involved. I think it's pathetic that a lot of people want to do charity shows, honestly. I was very picky on the upcoming August show that we have right now. It was my choice to involve the Equal Justice Initiative, especially with Fight when they gave us the thumbs up. I'm really grateful for that. And there's so much. I could curse, right? I don't know. That's fine.
Yeah,
There's
you're
bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit going on in the world, guys. Like, the world is literally ending, and tomorrow's not promised. So I was figuring out, what can I do to just like leave a little stamp for everybody to just follow. I want people to think about others before themselves, especially with people like Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, so many people that deserve better and deserve more. I don't want to say press, but their voice is heard. You need their voices heard. And even with video presentation we've been doing in VXS, the Jimmy Lloyd vignette started off with George Zimmerman trials. Like, no one's ever done that. I'm trying to figure out what can we do to separate us, but for the better, and also that's genuine, and that's literally on everything that I'm doing moving forward. I don't like that some people do it very transparently, that you can see that it's not genuine, guys. Like there's a lot of old snakes. I call them old heads. My roster agrees too on this. Like there's too many old heads that don't believe in diversity, but also don't believe in what's right and freedom of speech. And that's kind of the thing I want to bring to the table, and I want to scare the old heads in this project and show them that a young boy could do probably their job better than they ever could.
Now, with saying that, because I mean, wrestling is politics. Wrestling has always been politics. It's always been about who you know and who you shouldn't piss off. Now, there's still a lot of that prevalent in wrestling today. Now, does that scare you at all to put yourself at the forefront of making wrestling more diverse? I mean, because there still are people that don't think that way and that will never think that way, and that mindset is set and will always be set.
100%. And the point of it to beat them at their own game is to wake them up. And I think that after this, we're going to set a tone for sure for those people. And it's sad because they're still out there. The people that doubt those of color that can actually go, that deserve a platform, and they're still out there. I really want them to realize that I'm about to prove them wrong with this project. And since day one, that's been the motive. You know, I grew up from the hood, honestly. I'm Puerto Rican. You know, my skin isn't that dark, but that doesn't mean that's who I am. You can't define me of who I am. And that's what wrestling's all about as well. You know, everybody involved in this project, we're all on the same page. And I've never been in a locker room like that. There's a lot of politics, you know, from the jump. I've witnessed a lot because of politics. And if there's anything I want people to remember, is that it's going to be a politic-free zone. People shouldn't be scared to voice their opinion to a guy just because they're the boss, quote unquote, because that shit's stupid. That shit is childish and it's corny. You know, you're not fucking Vince McMahon. You're not Dana White. Give it a break. You're running a show in fucking Nashville. You got fucking 20 people front row. Stop the shit. You know, I think that's bullshit. And I think people need to just shut the fuck up and get with the program that it's 2020. People are going out with people, different skin colors, and you could give opportunities. We had a black president, for crying out loud, guys. Like, it breaks my heart, you know, thinking about stuff like that. And it's a new age. That's basically it, honestly.
It is. It's a new age, and it's been well past time that the mindset should have been changed long ago. And here we are in 2020, still trying to change the mindset and how people should morally and ethically think, and we're still trying to do it. So hopefully, not just in wrestling, but everywhere can start to witness and empathize and sympathize with what's going on and start to change their full way of thought. I mean,
I don't mean to cut you off, but like another thing is like the number one thing I hear when I talk about this topic is that wrestling's fake. And if I got a chance to present that it's an actual sport, I'm gonna do it. We're introducing, I'll break the news here, we're introducing a win-loss record system that's probably gonna work better than AEW, because if this is successful, it's not gonna be every week, it's gonna be bi-monthly. It's the perfect time frame for a ranking system. A lot of people aren't thinking outside of the box, and there's not enough visionaries in this world. The whole point of it is so we could bring back that sportsmanship feel that the early 2000s Ring of Honor had, that even ECW had back then. Just good fucking wrestling, dude. And when I present this whole project to someone that has never watched wrestling, I want them to leave that pay-per-view viewing as if, wow, wrestling's fucking real, and I was completely wrong. The lineup we have is so good. I'm so proud of it. the outcome is probably going to be tremendous. But at the end of the day, people got to realize, like, wrestling's real. Wrestling's more than real, it's emotion. Without emotion, there is no wrestling. And I think people are going to see that when it comes August 16th.
Now, when you talk about running and say perfect world, everything happens and everything goes smoothly as planned, is there down the road, are you planning on introducing a championship of any sort?
Maybe.
I'll take that as a very good maybe.
Yeah, let's see how the first show goes. Maybe. Yeah, I know some people. Maybe that would be good. I think championships give a reason for people to fight, and I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big UFC fan. I'm a big boxing fan. I'm a big sports fan. You want to give people a reason to fight? Championship's one of them.
Now, you mentioned...
And a good one, too, not made out of cardboard, guys.
I would hope not. I don't think anyone on that card would want to challenge for a cardboard title.
Yeah.
They're better than that.
Yeah.
You mentioned honor, and I mean, every time you said that word, it made me think of the person most that you booked, Jonathan Gresham. I think he's the one that brings the legitimacy and the honor back to wrestling. As long as he can get that spotlight that he is long overdue, deserved. I mean, I think that is where you start to see. I mean, there's also, I mean, he comes from the same type style and sportsmanship of Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, whichever you want to call him, and guys like that handed it down from time to time, and it got lost in the shuffle there for a while until Gresham kind of stepped up and took that in America, at least. I mean, he is, when you think technical wrestler in this country, and I mean, there's only one other person that I can think of in the world that matches him technically, and them two together, it's 1 and 1A. So, I mean, when he's on a card, he's like your main focal point of that honor system. He wrestles with honor, always has, and I believe he always will. So I
still can't believe he's on my card, honestly. Like, I've been a fan of his from the jump, and the fact that he was down for it, and we talked about if Ring of Honor would be cool with it, and they are, and I'm very grateful for that. Like he loves the vision that I present. And I'm on the same page, dude. He fucking rules. He's a wizard in that ring. And he believes that type of art is not lost. People could say it. It's not. I believe he brings that to the table. And honestly, he was the first person I contacted for this project because of the same reasons you said, dude. I love what he does in Ring of Honor, PWG. I watch all of it. When I had this project in mind, that's the core, because without a core, how are you setting the tone? So when I did that first announcement, I had to set the tone, and the only person that came into mind was Jonathan Gresham, and I can't wait to see what he brings to the table.
Well, and not only that, I think the best part about that Jonathan Gresham match is the perfect foil and complete opposite in Tony Deppen. I mean, it's just the perfect person to go up against Mr. Honor, Mr. Legit, amazing wrestler. And you got a Tony Deppen who, I mean, anyone who's seen Tony Deppen before, it's amazing to watch him perform, watch him go. He's insane, but he's fun to watch. Like everything Tony Deppen is. So putting them two together, your core, like you say, is it's the perfect core to have.
He's an honorable person in general, but dishonorable wrestler 100%. I mean, anyone who blows a snot rocket on you is not wrestling with honor.
Yeah.
I love that you guys see that, because he is a character to deal with, honestly. That's really how he is outside of the ring, but like he is so talented. And I think it's the perfect mix. I think a lot about when I was setting up this card, I was thinking a lot about mixes and style clashes and dream matches that fans would want to see. Not just, this guy's local, let me pull him in. I'll get this guy because he lives next to me and it'll cost $10. That's not value. Wrestling and putting a card together for fans, especially for a very specific market. You guys know the market we're going for. It's very specific. It's very, I'll list it right now. Very heavy technical, very freedom of speech, and very, we don't give a fuck, we're going to prove you wrong attitude. We want to bring it back, that excitement that people haven't seen. And what better time is it than with this pandemic finally simmering down in our area? Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes good afterwards. But it's something that it's a sense of excitement that was lost, and Tony Deppen is all of that.
Now, to touch on the diversity that we spoke of earlier, and we're getting to your match card, and I want to hype this as much as possible because I think that you put together.
Before you do, I'm sorry to cut you off. If anything sucks, fucking tell me. Say it sucks. I want to know. I want to hear that. Go ahead.
I don't, and I'll say this as a fan and whatnot, and podcast host, and just general person in general. Saying something sucks before it actually happens, I will not say that. I will not say that it sucks because it's just impossible. It is impossible to say that something sucks before it even happens. Now, if you see something several times, you're like, all right, well, this just isn't working. There's chances are that it's just not going to work. But to see something like the card that, like, and it's a very unique card, and it's a very specific card, but it's an attractive card because you're like, for JTG and Nick Gage, I mean, it's a styles clash of a card to say those two, you wouldn't think of them in a ring together. Never in a million years. You wouldn't think of them in a ring together. So to say that it's going to suck, I can't do that. I have an open mind. I like people that think outside of the box, and I like seeing things that, oh shit, I don't know what to expect. Like, I expect mayhem, and I expect fun. I expect it to be really, really entertaining.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. And there's a lot of people, as we know, on the internet that doesn't have an open mind. But that's definitely the goal. Not just for one styles clash match, but man, let's make every match a main event. That's what I'm all about. Let's go on a roller coaster. And you have at least one main eventer, and I'm saying at least, very, very, because most of them have two main eventers per match. I mean, any one of these matches could be a main event caliber match on any other show. I mean, you look at a lot of the guys that you sign have blown up. They've got a name. They've got recognition. A couple of people just got signed. I mean, then you have a couple of older heads like Gage, like Homicide, like JTG that have been around for a while, and who their counterpart is in their match. And not to mention, I'm just going to throw out Reed versus Oliver. Putting those two together in the ring, doing either tag team work or against each other, is brilliant. And I hope more people hop on board and they do that, because I don't think that's a match that people will tire from. I think that their brain is always working, and I know both of them have the mindset that they want to one-up not only each other, but what they just did before. So having those two together in a match on a card is something that I won't tire of, because I know, and they're both young. They're both very young. So they know it's an uphill battle to get that recognition. So they're going to work extra hard to get it. So that match could be a main event on any other card. As well as, I mean, you have AR Fox, you have Jimmy Lloyd. Those two styles are completely different as well. But you know what AR Fox brings to the table, and you know what Jimmy Lloyd brings to the table. And I think every match is fitting of at least that violence. Hopefully not too much suffering, but I know the violence is definitely going to ensue with every single one of these matches that's been announced so far. Absolutely, and I really want to be different, honestly, guys. Like you said, every match is like of a main event caliber, and I want to create the X Games of wrestling. I want to introduce people from around the world. Hopefully, I want to bring in talent, whether it's California or Puerto Rico or Germany or UK. I'm all about excitement. I'm all about innovation, because I'm all I'm all about creativity, honestly. And Reed and Oliver, they're like probably some would call them the poster boys because of the style they bring. And like you said, they never not amaze you. They're always got to invent something. They're always got to come out with something that you've never seen before. And that's a big key to VXS. I want to present something that you haven't seen before. And also, while acknowledging people like Homicide and our peers in the business, like even Nick Gage and people like those that have taught us and paved the way for what we want to do, for what we want to bring back, which is sportsmanship in this business. And they're going to help out a lot, I know. But I don't want to create the X Games of.
I think with Reed and Oliver, I think their biggest, I mean, some would call it a tremendous downside, but I think their biggest upside is that they don't conform. They go against the grain. They are trying to be innovative. They're trying to broaden the horizon of wrestling. So when you see them and them not following the standards of wrestling and whatnot, I mean, I think that works to their advantage because I think that presses people to look and think outside the box. Because I think that what they're doing, along with, I mean, Blake Christian, he's another one. Alex Zane, he's another one. I mean, guys that kind of push the limit all the time and try and make others adapt to them.
Oh, all those guys you listed for sure have the it factor I want to bring in. If it wasn't for Marco Stunt, he would have never put me onto Blake Christian and a lot of the people from there. I can't wait to see what they do. Honestly, I want people to discover, but also be amazed. Like especially with creating talent, that's a big factor. A lot of people aren't thinking about. The whole card is 100% the future. I don't care. Even if you could say Homicide's not the future, I still think he is. He's been running for over 25 years. Like, that's bananas to not even have him in there. And he's an innovator, and innovation is a really big key.
Not to mention that the younger group, he is someone that people will pay attention to, and they respect him in the business. So he's there as a kind of a locker room leader as well.
Yeah,
he sets the standard.
He does set a standard, and he's helped me a lot from a visual aspect, and also taught me a lot of stuff when it comes to backstage work. I've met him. The first time I met him was at an ICW show at Elks Lodge in like 2014, I think, probably 15. I don't know, because he takes breaks here and there, but he's so smart. He is so smart. He knows so much. And especially with teaching me about the old ROH days, he's definitely a locker room leader for VXS.
So
now,
go ahead, Joe.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on that. I mean, you're running something that you want to be new and different, but are there still people that inspired you to kind of have that train of thought? Are there other promotions that you kind of looked up to? I mean, you mentioned ICW and the other one from New York. What was it?
House of Glory.
House of Glory. I mean, you don't want to model exactly like them, but did people kind of help you see the direction that you wanted to go and kind of influence it?
That's a good question. Yes, I do think that I've been influenced by a lot of people, especially in ICW. Danny DeMano is such a brilliant mind when it comes to innovation. He just innovated the ICW No Holds Barred concept with the chains as ropes. And it's all about being different, but it's also about learning your history, how to set up events, and how to do everything correctly. And I don't want to run an event if I don't know how to do it correctly, guys. People like them, not just the promotion aspect, but the people that ran the promotion is what I look into. Like a movie, it's an amazing movie, but I want to know more about Quentin Tarantino. I want to know more about Robert Rodriguez. I want to know more about what it takes and what they've done to climb that ladder to present their vision. And I'm all about visions. So people like Danny DeMano, Jack Sabbath, I'll say Brett Lauderdale even, they've stepped outside of the box, and they've also been very helpful in this project. So without peers, there's nothing, honestly. And I'll bring him up again, Homicide. That's how he is to wrestlers. You know, he will help a lot on that day. But everyone in my roster has done their history. We respect our peers, and we don't forget our roots. A lot of people forget their roots in this business, and I want this to be an ode to what once was really fucking good, especially for Northeast. Anyone could start anything. They could do intergender matches to get clout. They could do maybe a tournament that isn't going to matter. I want wrestling to matter, and I want it done correctly. And without having a peer to learn off of, it's impossible. And a lot of people aren't doing that. So
you were saying about visions and looking forward, and with your shows, say we open back up in 6 months and everything's fine and we're good to go and we get past it. Do you have a set location to where you want to run out of? Do you want to go across the Northeast, or I mean, what is the ultimate vision if this starts running, catches fire, and you can do whatever you want to do?
I never thought about that. I would say the obvious one's California. Being an East Coast guy, you know, just once you go from coast to coast, you know you're set. You know your voice is heard. On my radar right now, California, Philly, Seattle, Chicago. A lot of people like to stay in their place, and there's going to be that home fan base that you just can't forget about. A lot of these promotions leave and just forget about it. I do want to stay in the Northeast, but I wouldn't mind going to Japan for a one-off. You know, I wouldn't mind partnering with someone in Germany for a one-off. And all that does is not only help your brand, but also introduce a style maybe that some people have never seen before. There's places in the UK that I'm interested in, places in Ireland. But if there's like three, I'll narrow it down to three that I would love to run at. I would say California, Chicago, and Mexico.
Yeah, not too many people have Philly on their top 3 list.
No.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, that's fine. It's a secret location, but I'll say it here. The No Justice, No Peace, it is in the Philly area.
Whoa. A farm? Well, we know it's not in Philly because there is not one farm in the city of Philadelphia.
No.
It's really close. It's a gem, I'll tell you that.
Now you got my mind. Now you got my mind to working because I'm thinking farm outside of Philly. I mean, you're going north, I think.
We're going a little towards the border, yeah, between that and Jersey, yeah.
That could be closer than we think.
Yep.
I like this.
You might be in our backyard.
Yeah, we have a lot of people actually that have bought tickets that are from Philly. It's been amazing. The majority have been from Philly. We are getting people from New York that are driving now, people from Providence, people from Jersey, like the northern Jersey area. But
that's good. I think that's important for our area because we've kind of just noticeably have fallen off of the independent scene top 10 list. We used to be 1 and 2, the
number
Mecca.
1.
Yeah, we were 1 and 2. We were the Mecca with probably New York. And I mean, ever since the late 90s, we kind of just fell off. And people, I don't know if it's because it's harder to get the permits and everything for Philadelphia, but even as Pennsylvania as a whole, we just kind of we don't have that one promotion that just sticks. Everything is either Jersey associated, and we run next to Philly, so we're not that far away, but Philadelphia just hasn't had that aura around it of being the Mecca for, I mean, Chicago's taken over, Cali's taken over, Ohio's even taken over. There's been a lot of places that have stepped up and become like these states to run in, these cities to run in. Philly just fell off. So it's nice to see people that come to the area and run shows.
I recognize it, and I totally recognize it. And since we're talking cities, a dream would be to run in my hometown in Brooklyn. But I'll answer the question you asked earlier. It is harder to run nowadays because of the legal aspects and the licensing and the commissioners and the certain restrictions that people need to run an actual event. So I really think that the Mecca like Philly hasn't really been like that because of stuff like that. I would love to run in the center of Philly. Like that's like a dream of mine, but this is probably the closest thing I could get to it. And it's going to take time, but with restrictions comes a lot of money, and it's not something I'm not going to shadow. A lot of people are like, okay, I'll settle for this. You don't want to settle for that because where your fans are is what matters.
Yeah, and if you have a good showing and you all of a sudden pull it away, they're going to think that you just used them.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it one and done? No, it's not how it should be.
That's how you counter book yourself out of fans.
Yeah, and like even in the early 2000s, like the independent circuit had those territories a little bit. You had people in the CZW Center. You had people in the ICW, USA Pro, Beyond Wrestling. I actually do think Philly needs that void to be filled since day one. And this is coming from a Brooklyn guy. I've told people this. I love Philly, and I want people to understand how big of a deal this is, not just for just running one show, but running a platform that represents the people involved and the fans involved and what they love, and that's professional wrestling.
I think Philly, along with New York and a couple other cities, they give you the perfect, because the fan base is so diverse, you're able to use that diversity to your advantage and run a more diverse show. I think that's why, I mean, we're starving for.
It helps. Yeah, it absolutely helps. The fan base that we're aiming for is a demographic a lot of people don't like to touch on, and that's not just one centered towards I'll say white. You know, like you want to get the Latin demographic. You want to get people of all skin color, all demographics. It doesn't matter because the more that they're involved in is a representation of what you're providing to people. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of like really, really white trash promotions that have ran that don't care about their audience. And when you're listening to people with a concept like that, with a vision, I know I throw that word a lot out there, but it means so much to me. It speaks in the fans. It doesn't speak. It could speak in your ring, but that's the other half. You need that fan base. You need them.
Absolutely, agree 100%. Larry, you got anything else to?
So yeah, I mean, just to finish up, if you want, it's just to reiterate, Sunday, August 16th, because we hadn't. I don't know if we've said that yet or not, but No Justice, No Peace is the show, running on Fight TV, correct?
Yes, we're going to be live on Fight TV at 4 p.m. Eastern.
And where can everybody buy tickets, or whatever's left anyway?
You could DM us. Honestly, I look at everything. I'm not going to be a Hollywood prick and just be like, oh, I'm gonna send you here to this link. It's all hands on. DM us on Instagram. DM us on Twitter. You could email us if you're like that. You want to email us? Email us at contactvxs@gmail.com. But go on our social media, please. It's at VXS Wrestling on everywhere. And you can shoot us a simple DM saying, hey, man, I'm interested in tickets. I got some right now as we speak as I'm on the phone. I'm not going to give that persona of like me being better than people. A lot of promoters nowadays think that they're like top goose shit. And I just think it's ridiculous. I'm for the people and VXS is for the people. Hit me a DM, even if you just want to like give thoughts on it. Don't be shy.
I will say this, I will give Brett Lauderdale his dues. The one GCW show at Voltage Lounge had sold out in like minutes, and we were in a waiting room, and I mentioned something on social media. I didn't even say anything to him. I said, damn, I really wish I would have got tickets. Game Changer DM'd us and said, how many do you want? And got us tickets. And that's like, that's something that I will always remember, and that will always resonate with me when people actually treat others like human beings. I mean, it's crazy that it's gotten to a point of where we respect that so much because it's so few and far between.
Yeah, it is crazy that like we gotta like mention that because it's so rare you run into people like that. Game Changer Wrestling, before traveling and touring all over the place, they really do know how to talk to people and listen and take care of their fans, and I think they're still doing that. They like I said, they're all over the place, but at the end of the day, you gotta take care of the fans. You gotta see if you could care for them and find space for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add to any promoting that you want to do? The floor is yours. If you socials, anything like that. Not your social security number, but
yeah. Thank you guys. First off, this was awesome. You guys are always welcome at the shows. This is a great experience. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to interviews. I'm not really a talkative person, but then stuff like this just gets me fired up. I hope to see everyone. We have our show August 16th. Again, our social media is at VXS Wrestling. That's violence and suffering. The N means the X because that's like, we're trendy. So we just want to be the people's promotion and be something that we can offer that people haven't seen in a very long time. And I'm very excited for this. And I also want to thank you guys again for this opportunity.
Pleasure's all ours.
Yes, for sure.
We're glad you were able to come on and promote, because it's different, because a lot of people don't bring – everyone wants, let me get this wrestler and this wrestler. And not a lot of people think about the promoters and what – that's like because a lot of people want to know about that. But they're afraid to ask, and they assume that they know everything. So we bring the promoters on because everyone's got a different mindset to how they want to run their company, how they want to run their business. And it's kind of a peek behind the curtain to the independent wrestling booking scene and how shows are ran and the mindset, and how at the end of the day, it's all about the fans and bringing in the most amount of fans, because that's how you stay relevant. That's how you broaden your horizons. That's how you get to California. That's how you get to Chicago. That's how you get to the UK. It's through the fans generating that buzz.
And you guys are media. I don't mean to cut you off, but you guys are media. I feel I always recommend my friends to do podcasting because at the end of the day, you guys are the platform to help our message spread out. I'm very grateful for it. You guys are media that want to uplift something that you also see potential in, and something that you think should be heard. And a lot of I'll cut it short. A lot of promoters are very greedy, very, very money hungry. And I am zero of that. I'm proud to say I am zero of that. And I think that people need to recognize that aspect as well behind the scenes, because without that, there's no vision.
Yeah, well said. So, Isaac, thank you so much for taking the time and talking with us and promoting this already amazing card that's coming up on the 16th. Can't wait. I would love to. Hopefully, we can try and make it out and make it there once we figure it out.
Hold on, man.
Absolutely.
I want to cut you off real quick. Is there any match you would like to leak on our show before you announce?
Yes.
Yes.
I had to ask.
We have about like 2, I think, left. I'll give you one. Okay, I'll say. We're doing triple threat extravaganza.
Okay.
What is the triple threat extravaganza?
3 people. Eli Everfly from Cali.
Okay.
Facade.
Okay.
Alex Zane.
Yes, I was hoping that was the name you were going to say.
And that's starting the show, the triple threat extravaganza, August 16th.
All right.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Breaking.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Thanks so much.
We don't get to break a lot of news on this show, so
there you go. Yeah,
pretty big deal.
I'll be releasing a vignette probably this Wednesday, or Wednesday most likely. Yeah.
We won't say it when we promote the show, but we will say to draw people in that we have breaking news on.
Oh yeah, get that headline, baby.
Yep, that's right.
We'll tag a couple of people in it.
Thanks so much again, and hopefully we'll stay in touch and talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Much love.